Okay, thank you. Mic check. Can you guys hear me? All right, now stand to your feet a little bit. Put the music up a little bit. You guys can just sit down. Stand to your feet. It took me... No, listen, bring it down. Wait. I want to let them know why we're dancing. 1 second. It took me, listen. It took me 2 planes, 7 hours, 5 hours on standby, and a 2-hour car drive to get here. Somebody go and dance. Put the music up a little bit. Come on. Make some noise. Just like I'm rapping. I know we left you, now we back together, but I guess that is better now. All right, let's go. All right. Listen, I was in the right group. Is that okay? All right, family. Tip top of the day to you. Now, here's what I want to let you know right now. I'm from New York. And so in New York, it's 5 p.m. So my brain is at 5 o'clock, but here it's 2 o'clock, okay? Just work with me a little bit. Is that okay? Family, look, listen, I just want to say that it's an honor to be here today. It's a privilege to be here to serve you and to serve my community. Now, here's what I want to do. Turn to the neighbor right next to you and say he speaks very fast. Just do that right quick. I want to get it out of the way because you're going to be sitting there thinking, is it me? No, it's not you. I do go fast. I have about a few minutes here with you guys, and I want to teach you some of the things that I've learned throughout the years. Is that fine? So I want to dive right into it. So one of the things I want to share with you, just a little bit about who I am and how I was able to be standing here. You see, it was 2005. I just moved from Trinidad. Anybody here from Trinidad? No? Okay, good. It's so small that you can't see it on the map. It just has the name, Trinidad. That's how small it is. It's really tiny. And I moved with my wife. We came out here to Jamaica, Queens. We had a baby. And we were living in a basement. And the basement was so small, you had to go outside to change your mind. That's how crazy that was. And I remember not having a lot of skill. I got kicked out of every school that I was in, right? You know, when I left school, they didn't get a diploma. It just says leaving certificate. You left, you know what I'm saying? And I remember one day I was having a negative conversation with myself. I was saying, you're a bad provider. You're worthless. You're a failure. You are a reject. You have no skill. You'll never be anything. Now, you have to understand something. The worst person to be in the room with is yourself when you're by yourself. The things that we say to ourselves, we don't say to other people. If somebody says that they're worthless, you say, no, you're not. But when you say to yourself, you listen. And I was having this conversation. Now, you have to understand where I came from. This is me at 14 years old. A couple weeks after I took this picture, I got stabbed on the left side of my head. Went to the hospital. They said, you will never live past 20. I came from a place where you'll be no good. So the conversations that I was having, it was rooted from since I was what? Young. And some of you are having some conversations, and some of you have some of those conversations. People spoke into your lives and you believed them. But I remember one day, as I was going through this negative conversation, I said to myself, that's some BS. Now I don't know what you're thinking about, but my BS stands for bad story, okay? Get your head clear or we're going to it's a clean conference. But I said, man, that's a bad story. You are having a negative conversation. You're telling yourself a bad story. And how many of you have told yourself a bad story? And I remember one day I was going through the newspapers. How many of us remember looking through the newspapers for a job? Let me see your hand nice and high. You see, the young folks ain't know nothing about the hard times. Trying to find a job in the newspaper. Remember that? And I saw this article, and here's what it says. Make money in real estate with no license, no money, and no experience. I run outside at the top of my lungs. I said, baby girl, I got a job. She says, what are you talking about? I said, I ain't got nothing that they're asking for on this paper. They have to hire me. And guess what? They did. And 15 years later, I became one of the top 20 real estate agents under 40 in the entire of Long Island. Coached and mentored for some of the companies that you see on the screen right here. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, first of all, you got to make sure that the person that you're going to listen to for 60 minutes know what they're talking about. Yes? But the reason why I'm telling you this is because I want you to write this down. Failure is an event. It's not a person. Failure is an event. It's not a person. You understand me? Yes, you may have made some mistakes in your life. Yes, you have done some wrong things in your life. Yes, you have some regrets. And people say you shouldn't have regrets. You should have regrets. Learn from the regrets. You made some errors, learn from that. Don't do it again. If I had listened to them, that I'll never go past 20, I will have never become the top 20. Are you guys with me what I'm trying to say here today? So today the market is a little bit what? Troublesome, yes? And everybody's a little bit scared, yes? But I want you to understand that don't let fear control you. Whatever you did before, failure is an event, it's not a person. So, people say to me all the time, they say, you know, Coach, I want you to think outside the box. Here's my problem with that. The fact you want me to think outside the box means I'm in a box. Right? Think like there is no box. Nothing is going to limit you. Nothing is going to control you. That's what I want you to think today. I want you to think bigger. I'm going to share with you some things, and some of you are going to be like, whoa, that's a little bit too much for me. And some of you will be like, yes, I can do it. But I want you to think bigger. Could you do that with me today? So here's our framework for today. I'm going to teach you 3 things in 3 areas. One, we're going to talk about referral marketing. The next, I'm going to talk about predictive analytics. And the last, I'm going to talk to you about the power of virtual events. Now, understand this. You came to a session that was titled Hot Sauce, Please. It's going to get pretty hot. Is that okay? Right? So, let's start with this here real quick. The rules of the game are simple. You have 3 hats that you wear as a real estate agent. Yes or yes? Number 1, you are the CEO, you are the COO, and you are the CRO. Let's talk about that for a second. Number 1, you are the Chief Executive Officer. I think that we have lost who we are in this industry. How many of you would agree that it's very noisy out there in the real estate world? It's very noisy, and we're not even sure what we need to do anymore. I'm going to teach you that today. Number 1, I'm the Chief Executive Officer. Write this down. Real estate is a contact sport. It always has and still is. How many contacts do I need to get to a contract? Don't get caught up with your likes and your shares and your videos. We have realtors all over the place doing silly little videos that are getting no return on investment. And we're spending all the time tweeting and Instagramming and doing all these stuff, and we are not speaking to people. When did we lose that? When did we lose the fact that we have to be having conversations with people on a daily basis to be successful? So that's what I want you to make sure. I need to understand. Here's how I want you to look at your business. What are my numbers? I had a coaching client. I was teaching him his numbers. Here's how it works. You need to break down how many listing presentations I need to go on if I'm trying to make $800,000 in net income. If I want to make $800,000, I got to go on. I have to get 109 closings. That means I need to go on 300. I need to get 327 listing appointments because my average sale price is $350. Are you guys seeing how this comes down? If you're not this thorough, you will not survive. Start here first. Does this make sense? Know your numbers. Know your numbers. That's the first thing. If you're saying to me that you want to make $200,000, I hired you, and I look at your calendar as my CEO of my company. Anyone here wants to make $100,000 in real estate a year? Let me see your hands. I want to make sure I'm in the right room. Okay, because there's a lot of other ways to make less than $100,000. Okay? If you're not looking to be a 6-figure real estate agent, maybe we need to have some other sessions. Maybe we need to come over to my Common Sense Corner and let's have a conversation about some other things that you can do. Because real estate is very difficult. And it will take a lot of your time. And if you're not in this to make a significant amount of money so you can do the things that you want to do, we need to do something else. Are we with me, family? Right? So number 1, get your head straight. Number 2, you are the Chief Operating Officer. You are the opportunity optimizer. What do I mean by this, Coach? Here's what I mean. Every person that you come into contact with, one is going to be a hot lead, a warm lead, or a cold lead. What are your processes to follow up with a hot lead? What are your processes to follow with a cold lead? These are 3 separate people with 3 separate problems having 3 separate conversations. Yes or yes? Do you have that? So before we talk about marketing, before we talk about bringing people into the company to serve them, are you structured properly? Because I can give you all the leads, but if you don't have the proper systems, what's going to happen? They're going to fall to the wayside. Your business is going to collapse. Here's the other one. You're the chief revenue officer. This is one that I wish I could teach a little bit longer on. You know what people forget nowadays? You guys ready? They forget how to close. They think that because you generated the lead, that you're magically going to get that contract. Can you close? What is your conversion rate? How many people do I speak to before I get? So how many leads do I have to speak to get a listing appointment? And how many listing appointments do I go on to get an actual listing? And how many of my listings go on to closing? Who's tracking that? You're the boss. This is how we used to do real estate 10, 15 years ago. But the internet kind of muddied things up and make things a little bit messy. Yes or yes? This is how we did it. We closed. Voice inflection, your body language, using tie downs and upswings and down. Man, you get me too excited up here. The art of closing is almost disappeared. And everybody wants to dance their way to contracts. You're not going to see that in this presentation. I'm not going to teach you to do funny, silly videos and dance on TikTok. Because I don't think that that's what the business is about. And I'll prove that to you in a second. Is that okay? So can you close? So there's 3 big strategies to marketing and generating leads. I've studied this, and here are the 3 big strategies. Number 1 is working by referral. Number 2, you're going to be running ads to your content. And number 3, you're going to be paying the lead brokers. These are the 3 strategies, no matter how you twist this, are the most successful ways for you to run your business. Now, here's what I want to talk to you about: the running ads and the paying the lead brokers. How many of you ever heard of the red ocean, blue ocean strategy? See, if I sent you to fish and I gave you 2 oceans, a red ocean or a blue ocean, which one would you fish in? Probably fish in the blue ocean, right? But you don't know why you're doing it. You just say, it's blue, I want to go fish there, I don't care. Here's the reason with the red ocean. It's cutthroat. The competition turns the ocean bloody and red, hence the term the red ocean. Now, I have a couple of names on the screen. Now, I am not bashing anything and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. You just have to understand how the business works. These are what we consider lead brokers. They will pay you. You will pay them to provide leads to you. Is that what we did? That's what they do. I remember back in the day when referral fees used to be 20%. Anybody remember that? 35, 40%. One person called me one time and said referral fees 45%. I'm like, man, you might as well move in. You getting half the check. What are we talking about here? When is it going to stop? You guys get what I'm saying? It doesn't stop because as realtors, we are not getting into the story. We are allowing all marketers, other companies to take our listings, take our content, take the things that we produce, and then sell it back to us at a premium. It has to stop with us. And I'm going to teach you some of those methods today. So the blue ocean, before we go to the blue ocean, the reason with this strategy is pay-as-you-go marketing. The problem with this marketing is if you don't pay, you can't go. You guys get it? Some of us don't have the money to spend $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month to get leads. Some of us are barely making it. I can't give you 35% of my check, man. I'm not, I can't, right? But we are struggling. On average, the average real estate agent with 2 years or less experience is making gross $8,000. That's unacceptable. Family. So here's the blue ocean. It's free from competition. Yes? And how many of us know what swims in the blue ocean? Referrals. Yes, I said it. I said it. And I'm going to prove this to you. So you're going to learn something totally different today. Right? Totally different today. Watch the referral marketing business for a second. Watch some stats. 68% of sellers said that they found their agent through a referral from a friend, neighbor, or relative, or used an agent that they worked with before to buy or sell a home. This is according to the Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers 2021 by the National Association of Realtors. Who knew that?